Welcome to Hey Therapist. I'm your host, Leslie Ross. With me is my producer, Jay Wesley Lindley. Let's get mental. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hey Therapist. We are on episode 32, the Valentine's episode, kind of. We're going to talk about green flags, though. We talked about red ones last time. And so today we are going to talk about green flags and what that looks like and how you have those in the relationship. I think it's important that we recognize the green flags and we appreciate each other for the green flags. And, you let your partner know that you appreciate them. You let them know that they're providing what you need and communicating well. Because again, it's all about that good communication. So what are some green flags, you might ask? Well, sometimes the green flags are easy to spot because they make you feel good. And they make you feel heard, and they make you feel validated, and they make you feel like you are the only one in the world to that person. And man, that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling that we all want. And I think when we have that good relationship, that you're able to express and discuss your emotions, and you can discuss them honestly and openly, and you tell someone how you feel, and they listen to you, they respect that, and they do everything that they can. If you're having a hard time expressing your emotions, is it you that has a hard time expressing emotions? Maybe that's something you need to learn. Or is it your partner? Like, are they not receptive to you expressing your emotions? So you need to be sure what's going on there, especially before you start playing the blame game or, using comments like, you don't listen to me, or you're not taking me seriously. Well, how are you saying it? How are you expressing that emotion? How are you telling them you want to be alone? Men and women do different in alone time. I'm all about my alone time. I'm going to tell you, listen, I need to be alone. I don't want you around. I want to go lay up and watch other things. And I've said it before on podcasts. And I think there's a lot of men that are fearful of saying that because there's a lot of women that take that personal. And that, again, that's a you thing. Like, you're taking it personal because they're not saying, I don't want you. I don't want this relationship. They're saying, I just want some me time. I want to go be by myself. I want to do whatever I want to do in the room and however I want to go do it. Or I want to go camp. I want to go fish. I want to go to the movies. I want to go in the other room and play a game and not be disturbed. It's fine if you have alone time. I need my alone time. I need my decompression time. I don't always want someone right there with me. Sometimes I do. And in the beginning of the relationship, you are a little more clingy. Everyone is. They're a little more, oh, you don't want to hang out with me? Like, meh. But I think it's understandable if you say up front, listen, I'm someone who likes my alone time, and it's not anything personal, and I don't want you to take it personal when I need that alone time. And I think it's important, in that same vein, that you can have those difficult conversations about the relationship. If you can talk to someone about what you're struggling with, even if it's about your partner. Listen, this just isn't going the way I want it to go. The way that you said that or did that, or I'm trying to adjust to this or that, and I don't like it. Can we fix it? Maybe you can. Maybe you can't. But maybe you can't. And I think if it's a good relationship, it's definitely worth a shot to try. Another great green flag is the apology flag. Are they willing to apologize? Will they say they're sorry? And will they say they're sorry in a real way? If they're saying, are they going to apologize to you because they're actually sorry in the, I am so sorry I made you feel that way. I wish I would have considered your feelings before I made the decision, whatever it is. I should have considered your feelings in that. Or is it going to be, I'm sorry that you feel upset by that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel bad. Well, maybe you should just say, I really recognize that I hurt you and I'm sorry. How do I fix it? how do I do it differently? I wish I could take it back, but I can't. And you're really upset. So how do I fix it? How do I not do this again? Because sometimes someone will do something, you're in a relationship, and it may be that you've been in the relationship for a little while, but something happens and you're all of a sudden triggered. And they're like, whoa, shit, what just happened? And you both have to figure out what happened and how to navigate that. And you get to do that with the other green flag of them being your safe space. Maybe they are your safe space. They are home base. They are where you can go and fall apart. Let me tell you, I've been having hell these last couple weeks, and it would be so nice to have someone to just be able to fall apart to. Although I don't know that I really allow myself to do that anyway, but it would be nice to know that I could, that they're my safe space, that I can be vulnerable with them and open with them, and they are going to validate that. They are going to pat me on my head. They're going to listen to me. They're going to be my hype man. They're going to tell me it's going to be okay. And they're going to mean it, because they're going to do everything they can to try to make it okay. They're going to do everything they can to try to make me okay. And boy, that is something. That is big, giant green flags. We love the big, giant green flags. Another green flag is having someone that respects your boundaries. So they respect your physical boundaries, your emotional boundaries, your financial boundaries, your intellectual boundaries, someone that's not making you feel dumb because you don't understand or know something. I kind of went out with a guy who was like an IT guy, and he knew all the things. He was very good at what he does. I know nothing of computers. Like I can turn one on. Like I'm decent at moving files around, but he could build things and set up networks. And he was like an engineer is what his legit job. And he would talk about things. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Tell me what that is. And he would kind of make me feel stupid about it and kind of talk down to me. Like, how do you not know how? Bro, I'm a therapist. I went into the social sciences for a reason. I don't math. I don't science. I don't IT. I know people. I know relations. I can do that part of it. Like, you don't know how to do my job either, bro. Stop being so judgy. It was just, it didn't last long because it made me feel uncomfortable. Like, don't make me feel stupid because I don't know anything or because I said a word wrong. You know, I say, if you've listened to any of the podcasts, you've heard me say something wrong or stutter because sometimes words are hard, even words you know very well. But if they're going to make you feel dumb about it, if they're going to make you feel insecure every time you say a word or mock you if you do something wrong or stumble or spill something, listen, you are not the one for me for sure, because I am clumsy and I make mistakes and I'm human. And so are they. So most of the time, the big red flag comes when they do something silly or fall down or, just a normal everyday thing happens and you mock them the same way they do you and they don't like it. Maybe they make a little comment about you. Maybe you get to make fun of them and walk much. Oh, how are them feet working? Oh, you got a hole in your lip because they spilled something on them and they get pissed about it. But yet they have no problems doing that to you. I mean, this is about the green flags, but that's a red one. The green flag is, you good? Yeah, I'm fine. I just spilled something. All right. Do you need me to go get you a towel? Do you need a change of clothes? Do you need me to do something while you sit here? Like, I can run out and get some. So I went on a date with a guy and we didn't date much, but I had a shoe give up the ghost. And she was old. She lived a hard life. It was one of my dress shoes and I didn't wear much, but I wore it out on this date and it completely fell apart. Like the sole came off of the shoe and I'm like flopping like it had a mouth, like it was talking. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Cause in my car, I have flip flops. I've got some slides. Like I have other shoes. We were in his vehicle. So we were on our way kind of out of the restaurant. We had finished dinner when it happened. And so he's like, just go sit at the bar. So I went over and sat at the bar and he came over for a minute and we ordered a couple of drinks. He's like, okay, I'll be back. And he goes out to his truck and he comes back in with tape, like duct tape, which wasn't the best thing in the world, but he also knew I am not someone that's going to walk barefoot anywhere. Like he was going to carry me or I was going to get my way out on this shoe. But he got duct tape and he taped my shoe up and had no embarrassment. There was no shame. We left the restaurant and it was great. And I was like, oh, that's super sweet. Like he didn't have to do that. You know, and another green flag is someone that makes you want to be your best self. They're consistent. They're doing the things, you're doing the things, and you just feel like you want to grow each other. Again, you're each other's biggest hype person. And I am all about being my person's biggest hype man. I expect that back. And in that is them paying attention to the little details, them knowing when you're off, them recognizing your facial expressions, the way you communicate, the sound of your voice, the tone of your text even. They know that something is wrong. And that is, you know, that is where we really get some of the green flags, is when you're just with someone and you say something or they call you and you're like, or you say something that you think you normally said the same way you normally said it. And they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I hear it in your voice. And there's just something so comforting and safe about that, where you can be like, you know what, you're right. I'm having a rough day, or yeah, there's just some things going on right now. I'll talk to you about it later. Like there's just too much or whatever it is. And so you break it down that way. They also have that ability to compromise. A great green flag is that ability to compromise. Yeah, I know you don't really like going to this place, but I really want to go and we don't get to go very often. Can we go? And they say, yeah, sure. Because you don't make me go all the time. Or they want to spend time with you, but you really want to do something that they don't really like to do. And instead of going and making you miserable and them going and being miserable, they're like, listen, we'll reschedule because this thing is happening on this night that we already planned. But I know you would have more fun with your friends. So why don't you call your friends and go out with them? And that way I don't have to go. You don't have to tolerate me being meh about being there, and you can have fun. And so I think that's the best green flag next to honesty and good communication. One of the best green flags really is when someone is just clear about their feelings. We all have history. We all have bullshit. We all have things that may be in the way or may think that are in the way. But if you're with the right partner, if you have the right person beside you, with you, they're going to support you through most of the things. If you love someone and something happens, something comes up that you didn't expect, it may not be ideal. It may be really fucking hard, but you can probably work through it if you're both committed to it, if you're both emotionally mature, if you're both healthy enough and within yourself to say, yeah, we can do this because we are strong enough that we can make it through this. And new relationships can make it through some really hard things. Old relationships can make it through some really hard things. And it's important to know when it is time to call it, when it is time to say, yeah, this just isn't, you're not my person. You're not the one for me. And that's a green flag in itself when someone can say, this isn't it. Like you're great or you're not, maybe you're not, but I'm not feeling it. It's not here. I don't want to string you along. I don't want to treat you poorly. There's something to be said for that. And I think that's one of the bigger green flags out there, is that open and honest. And if you say you're going to call someone, you call them. If you say that you'll have a conversation, you have the conversation. If you say, I'll get to it, you get to it. You know, just that respect thing, it really goes a long way. And making time for each other. It's the green flags galore when they'll make time for you, and they know when you need things and they know when you want things. And again, they're paying attention to those little things. And it's really fulfilling when you are in a partnership where you feel like a partner, where you're not full yoke and they're just back there dragging. And in every relationship, I think there comes a time, you know, people say relationships are 50-50 and all of that, but they're not. It's never 50-50. everyone should be given 100 or as close to 100 as they can give. But also sometimes you can't. Right now, I'm telling you, if I was in a relationship, I would be given about 30%. That's all I have left in me right now. For the last couple weeks, it's been hell, like just work and nonsense. It's just been rough. I'd be about a 30%er. They would have to pull that other 70. And if you're with the right person, they're okay with that. If they have to do it all the time, they may get sick of it. They may struggle to do that for you all the time, but it's going to fluctuate. You're going to be all in. You're going to be struggling, work stuff, life stuff, family stuff, friend stuff. It's hard. And even if you have the best partner in the world and you love them more than you could ever imagine loving anyone, sometimes it's hard. So you have to know when to just push pause on yourself, and your partner is probably going to already know that you're just plugging along. I have used the phrase, I feel like I'm running a marathon in mud a lot over the last few weeks. Your partner is going to say, okay, cool. I got it. What do you need? If they're struggling, you're going to do the same thing for them, because that's what partnership is. That's what a good relationship is about, is knowing when you need to pull the weight, knowing when the other person is struggling, knowing when you have to say, listen, I know that I'm not here. I know I'm not present, but I'm here. Like, I'm still in it, but I'm drained. And it's not that you're not putting anything in to the relationship. It's that you're just not sure what you have left to give. Another good green flag is that you share the same values. And you don't have to share all the same values, but there's some ethical beliefs and family dynamic type things, life goals, energy that you should probably share. Like it's pretty good to have a good base in that. And then when you can see someone in your future, it's another good green flag when people start talking about future plans. And I saw a meme the other day, it made me laugh. And I was like, yeah, that's true. It's like, you're in a good relationship when you could buy concert tickets 8 months out. I was like, that's so true. That's so true. It's so nice when you can plan for the future with someone. Another big green flag is if you are sexually compatible. Now, sex is not everything, and physical attraction can very much grow. And it's not really about the fireworks. Fireworks are nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. We love a little firework. I love when you're with someone and you can just look at them and be like, yeah, let's go. But it's about being safe in that, having that compatibility where you can play, where you can let your kinks out, let that freak flag fly, make that your green flag, your big freaky kinky flag. It's nice to have that mind-blowing sex, really is. And when you have someone that's the way it is almost every time, it's not going to be every time. Again, life happens, stress happens, sometimes things don't work. It's okay. It happens to everybody. But it's about that communication and being able to say, oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like that. I don't want to do that again ever. Wait, what do you want? No, I'm not doing that. Or, hey, now that sounds like a good time. I'll try it once anyway. So, give that a shot. And I don't think you have to be like, I want to jump their bones, attracted to someone right off the bat. That's not necessary. It's nice. And also, if you're a little bit attracted to them and they have these other qualities that you really enjoy, maybe you build on that and that physical attraction will grow. If you have the emotional attraction and you're doing the things and you're building the relationship and you're having some physical intimacy and that feels good, there's probably going to be a little bit of a spark there, and it may take a little bit longer. They may not be someone who you would conventionally be attracted to. But they give you a little tingle. You're like, okay, his face is kissable. I can make out with her. Then you get to know them and they're funny and you connect and you have the same values and you have the same connection and you have the same thought processes on a lot of things. And there's just so much that is just connecting. I feel like I've said that word a dozen times, but it's true. That physical attraction can grow. And what was a spark can turn into fireworks. And again, it's not going to be every time. Sometimes it's going to be a get in, get out, get on with your life situation. Let me fulfill a need real quick, but I got shit to do. Our show's coming on, whatever it is. And that's okay. Maybe sometimes you want it to last longer. And maybe you have those conversations of tonight, I would really like it to be this way, or I would like it to be that way. And you play and you have that build up and you flirt. There's nothing better than flirty text all day. And just that build up for when you get home. Note to men, I know I don't have a lot of men listeners, but note to men, most women are not looking for marathon sex. It hurts. There's friction. Things dry out. Like, I'm just telling you, we ain't trying to make it last all night. Sometimes it's fun and it works out that way. But boy, for the most part, like, you good? I'm good. Let's watch some TV. Like, it doesn't have to be about that. It's just about how good it does feel and making the other person feel good and satisfied. And it is harder a lot of times for a woman to have an orgasm than it is for a man. And sometimes it's vice versa. And sometimes that's life just coming into play. It's stress levels. It's all of these other things. That green flag in this situation is when you can go, listen, it ain't gonna happen, but you good? Okay. High five. Let's go, champ. Keep it moving. Like, it just sometimes isn't going to work out for both of you. But if you have that good communication, if you have that level of intimacy, it's okay. No one has to feel shame about it. No one has to feel guilty about it. No one has to feel bad about not getting someone off. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. The green flag is knowing that it's okay, that it happens, and wanting to please your partner, even though you're not getting anything out of it really. And that can definitely be one of those things that can be a telltale sign of how in tuned and how much your partner wants you to be happy. Because if it's not happening for them and they're just like, forget it, I'm quitting. Bro, what about me? Or vice versa. Like, listen, it ain't happening. How can I help you? Like, what can I do for you to let you at least enjoy this moment? And then we can try again later for something else. It happens that way, and that's okay. And I think those are some of the green flags. And I feel like there's less green flags than there are red flags, but I don't think there are. I think it's just we don't point out the green flags. And sometimes we don't appreciate the person that we're with enough. Sometimes we don't give them enough appreciation. We don't let them know what we do like and what we don't like. And it's important to give those accolades. We are very quick to criticize. We're very quick to point out what someone is doing that we don't like. If you catch yourself being in that pattern of just not liking anything that your person is doing, then that could be a problem. Why are they your person? If they don't make you happy, if they're not ticking the boxes, if you're more annoyed by their presence than you are excited to go home and see them, that's a green flag. When you're driving home, or when you get off work or this weekend or whatever it is, that you get to see your person and that makes you smile, that's a good sign. And if it doesn't make you smile because you're stressed or because you really, your buddies are going on a camping trip, or your girlfriends want to have a Valentine's Day and it's the same night you said you would go out with your partner, and you can still be okay with that because you can call them. And sure, they're probably going to be a little disappointed, but they're going to be like, you know what, babe, go. I know you really would rather do that. And we'll see each other tomorrow. we'll see each other tonight. Like when you get done, I'll see you. It just won't be as much time. Like when you can have that communication and that level of trust and freedom, because you should have freedom in a relationship. It shouldn't feel like you're being held hostage. It shouldn't feel like you have to do everything. Sometimes you have to do things. It's part of it. But when you're feeling like you are having to do all the things just to get by, just to have some sanity, just to have some peace in your home, it's a problem. That is not a green flag. And we want to look for the green flags. You want to have those green flags in your person. You want to find out what you enjoy about them. And maybe you've been in a relationship for a really long time and you look at your partner and you're like, I don't even like you right now. That happens. You're going to go through those phases. The green flag is, but I will again. I want to work on it. How do I like you? How can I bring back this feeling? Sometimes they're into it, sometimes they're not. And that's when y'all have to have the conversation of what are we doing here? Because life is too short. Life is so much too short. And there are times where it's hard and there's times where we are in a situation that we are just kind of stuck in and we have to keep moving. But otherwise, why? Because you don't want to fight? Because you don't want to go through the process? There's someone out there that can probably make you happy. There's someone out there that wants to love you the way you are, that's not going to criticize you, that's not going to put you down, that's not going to judge you for how much money you make or what your job is or what your life was or what you've done in the past. Why are you staying with the one that does? Why are you tolerating that in your life? So as we wrap up the green flag, and this is going to be a shorter episode, just is. I'm tired. It's been a long week. It's been a long 2 weeks. I'm tired, and I can admit that. I'm sorry. You may not be getting my best this week, but hopefully you get something out of this episode, because it is important to see the green flags and to recognize the green flags and to not mistake them for beige flags. Oh, let's talk about beige flags. I learned this on TikTok the other day, beige flags. And it's really kind of when you settle. Beige flags are those flags that you're just like, meh, okay. I'm okay with a beige flag. I'm okay with what's going on here. Maybe they're boring. Maybe you have a boring partner. Maybe that's the beige flag, is they're kind of boring. You're like, I'm happy enough. They do the little things for me. Yeah, I'm happy. I love them. I do. The sex is okay. It's, we're not blowing the roof off of anything. If you have a lot of beige flags, you may be settling. You may be afraid to try to find that person that makes your eyes sparkle, that you smile at your phone when they text you. And when the Gilmore Girls did their reunion thing, yes, I watched them all. At one point, Rory has a boyfriend and she keeps forgetting about him. And she's like, oh, he's so nice and he does the things. And he shows up at the house and they're like, why is he here? Paul, Peter, what's his name? And he's like, oh, I met you. And no one remembers meeting him because he's just kind of basic and boring. And she keeps forgetting to break up with him. But he remembered this tool that Luke had asked about, and he remembered the type of flowers that Lorelai liked. And they're like, oh, yeah, thank you. And this poor guy, she's just stringing along, but he's all in. And it's because he had some beige flags and he checked some boxes for her and all of those things, but it wasn't it. And it's a bad example because she should have handled things and been an adult and broke up with him and all of that. But that's what made me, when I was talking about the beige flags, that's what popped in my head, is just sometimes they're just a little beige. It's not love. It's not hate. It's indifference, as Taylor says. So we want the green flags. We want the smiles. We want the connection. We want to know that we're in a safe space. We want to know that the relationship is safe. We want to know that it's going somewhere, that we're not just biding our time, that we're not just making it work until something better comes along. That's where we end it, is reflect on your relationships, reflect on what you want. For all of my single people out there, yeah, it sucks sometimes, but we're single for a reason. for the most part. And it's because you don't want to settle. It's because you don't want to take whatever's offered. You don't want to just be in a relationship to be in a relationship. You're looking for that person, and that's okay. And it may mean that you're alone for a while. And it may mean that you go out here and there and do some things and they're just not it. And that's okay too. You just keep plugging along. And maybe you're searching for something that you had, a feeling that you had, something that someone provided for you at one point. And that's okay. It's probably not going to be the same, but it's okay to keep searching for that. It's okay to want that feeling. It's okay to want to be wanted. It's okay to want to be adored, because the person on the other side you adore as well. I've had that, and I'm looking for that, and it'll find me again. I know it will, and it'll find you too. You just have to be open to it. Put yourself out there, and sometimes put yourself in strange situations and shoot your shot, but that's okay, because that's what you need to do. So I'm hopeful for all of the singles. I'm hopeful for all of those in couples, that you can make it work, that you can keep making it work, that you can plug along, that the distance doesn't break you, that communication doesn't break you, that family issues, life circumstances, that you can power through all of those things, because it's hard. Relationships are hard, and even the best ones are hard. And so I want you to think about that as you're struggling and we're doing all of this work. It's hard, and it is work, but if you're in the right relationship, boy, is it worth it. Even if it doesn't last, even if it's not for a long time, it's really worth it. And I think that's where I'm actually going to leave you, is be cautiously hopeful in your new relationships, be steadfast in your steady relationships, and just keep trying. That's it. Keep working, keep talking, keep being open, keep having sex. It's important. We need to have a whole conversation about that. That's a whole other episode. We're going to talk about sex. Let's do it, because it's important. It's a very important part of any relationship. And so, yeah, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of things coming up this year. If you have any ideas, send them in. Be happy to talk about them. Go like the socials. Go like my TikTok. I am Hey Therapist on TikTok as well. TikTok. Tiki-taki. Boy, see, words are hard. Hey Therapist on TikTok. Go like my page. I'm trying to get to 1,000 likes so I can start doing some lives. I want to be able to go live, answer people's questions, do all of those types of things. We can talk about a lot of different things that we can't talk about on these platforms. So go like my TikTok, go like my Insta, socials, all of those things. Yes, I'm shamelessly plugging myself. Go show me some love for Valentine's Day. And with that, have a great week, and I will see you next episode.
For my producer, Jay Lindley, I'm Leslie Ross. Thank you all for joining us. Please send any questions or comments through the website, heytherapist.com, or email help@heytherapist.com. They may be featured on the show anonymously. Hey Therapist is an SEOK radio production and is for your entertainment purposes only. Thank you for joining us. Make good choices.